Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Hope you're all well today. We've got an afternoon flight for you today. Where are we? We're in Venice, and we're off to Lyon, which is another airport I don't think I've visited. Certainly can't remember visiting it. So that'll be rather nice. About 1 hour 15 minutes flight time today. The weather's looking great. We are on VATSIM, and of course, following the live test we did yesterday, we know that we've got an active working weather radar, and we've got TCAS. So all collisions should be safely avoided. It was a really good update that Microsoft and Azobo rolled out yesterday. Probably one of the best ones I can remember. And so far, touch wood, I can't seem to have found any bugs as well. So good afternoon, Danny, Hyacinth, and Jaron, Spitfire RAF 100. Good afternoon, Leonard. The last update has not broken the fly-by-wire. You just need to download the dev version. They already had access to the update prior to us mere mortals getting it, and they'd already got a fix all sorted. So Leonard, make sure you download the latest dev version. Good afternoon, Willie. Good afternoon, Nick, Mike, Captain Campbell as well, Lawrence Nielsen. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. KC, you're testing out the ATC at the moment. Oh, we did that yesterday, and well, you know, I'm back on VATSIM. I'll let you make up your own minds. The real live traffic, though, however, I do think that's kind of cool. I would love to do a little more flying with real live traffic, but we need decent ATC in the simulator for that. SamC23, how are you today? Hope you're well. I can see your flight deck is coming along very nicely on our Discord server. Looking forward to that. Jack, can I make a video on TCAS? Well, I'll explain a little bit about it later on if you wish. It's really not too difficult, particularly here in the simulator. It's very, very basic. So you will get a conflict. You'll see the aircraft on the navigation display, and they'll go red, they'll go yellow, they'll stay white when they're clear. So all is good. Leonard, you say the stable version is kaput this morning. Well, that's strange. It didn't seem to be last night, so that's very interesting. Willie, if I was having chicken tonight, I would be completely happy. I think, as it is, I think I've got shepherd's pie. Anyway, speaking of which, we best crack on, otherwise I won't be home in time for tea. Let's hit ready to fly, and let's go. So, beautiful sunny day here in Venice, as we can see. We'll check out the METAR in a couple of moments. Until then, let's get some power to the aircraft. Battery 1, battery 2. And the GPU is already waiting for us, so we can connect that up. CRV test. There we go. And we'll start aligning the ADIRS nav logo lights. No smoking signs. We'll leave all those until we've got our fuel loaded. Whilst waiting for the clicks, let's come and set up the fly pad. And hit dashboard. See if we can pull this information in. There we go. Venice to Lyon. So let's check the weather. At the moment, what do we got? 140 at 4. So presuming we're going to be departing still on runway 22 right, which is fine. And the weather in Lyon, as it is, still looks pretty good as well. We've got good visibility, a few clouds, 5,000 feet. Good visibility in Lyon is a bonus because it's a RNP approach, so no ILS today. The operational flight plan, I've popped a link in for you in the chat on YouTube, so hopefully you can check that out if you wish. But let's just have a look. So winds variable, Forecast is... oh yeah, there's nothing there really to concern ourselves. Winds might get up by a couple of knots, but that's no biggie. Although, just be aware we could potentially have a slight runway change there, 15 to 18 hours. It could be a northerly wind at 5 knots, in which case there will be a runway change. But fair enough, that's okay. Nick, so the ground control just enables the cockpit voice recorder to be working while the engines aren't running. So once you've got the engines running, you can turn that off. So, with that in mind, there's no problems really with the weather expected, other than potential wind change. So a different runway for landing. So what fuel have we got? 5.3. Oh, if we take 5.5 tons, we should be we shouldn't have any issues with that. So let's go to our fuel, and we'll load about 5.5 tons. There we go. Set that to real time. And fueling is underway. Right, we've had the clicks. Let's get the fire test 1, 2, and 3. Good stuff. Alright, passengers, I believe you can now start boarding. Let's kick self-loading cargo into gear.
So let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you. No problem.
So 1018 is our QNH. We'll get that set up. And anti-skid is on. Let's come down to the pedestal, see what we've got down here. Guard frequency 121.5. There's no air traffic control online at the moment here in Venice, so we're going to move over to Unicom shortly. There we go. Everything is down there where it should be. However, this should be turned off. That should be turned on. And do we have tilt above set for departure? Yes, we do. Very important now to check out the TCAS transponder part of the pedestal, as it now all works. Okay, so that's all fine. Let's come up to the glare shield, and again that QNH 1018, flight directors 1 and 2 on. Let's come now to the instrument panel. Bright sunshine in Venice, so we'll turn the panels all the way to the top. And we've still got doors open down below, which is fine at the moment. Idle alignment in around 4 minutes. Refueling still underway. All systems working. Willie, TCAS is working. Yes, TCAS is working. We checked it last night. Working on VATSIM as well, which is really, really good, particularly for airfields with no air traffic control. We've seen that in the past become a bit of a mess. Hopefully we can enjoy that now. Okay, let's come down to the FMGC and set all this up. So first of all, I just need to get information from the SimBrief servers here into the simulator. Let's do that. 1 hour 10 minutes the flight time today. Let's just have a look at the weights. So we've got about 5.5 tons loaded, which is a couple of extra tons of fuel extra. And we've got 175 passengers, 18,200 kilograms is our payload, and zero fuel weight of 59.2. That is correct. And let's just check the... oh, do you know what? Because I was messing around last night on that test, let me just get a shot of the ATC, the AI control. In fact, AI control, that's a very good point. Come back. I need to turn that off. I don't want you trying to manage my radio communications. Go away. So get rid of that. AI control can disappear. There we go. So where was I? 0 fuel weight 59.2, and let's set that 32.2. There we go. And load. Alright, so that's now all loaded in. Good afternoon, Steve, Razzle Music, and Maxim. Good to have you on board for us. Let's now check aircraft status. A320 LEAP engines, valid AIRAC cycle. Fantastic. Init request, passengers still boarding, 105 passengers to go. So the alternate today is it Basel? No, is it Marseille? Is that Marseille? Lima, Fox, Mike, Lima. Flight number today is Easy34 Alpha Mike. That should be Alpine, shouldn't it? Never mind, never mind. Cost index of 8, flight level is 290, minus 42 is correct. The tropopause is perhaps a little closer to 38,000 feet, so we'll just update that. There we go. So 38,000 feet is now set. Flight plan. So we're going to be looking to depart runway 22 right, and that is going to be using the Victor 5 Delta departure. And insert. I'm just going to check my charts here in front of me, make sure that is the correct valid departure. Victor 5 Delta. Yeah, that is. So Victor 5 Delta, that is correct. And check the coding is 461, then it should be 466, 462. Spot on, that all looks good, as do the altitude constraints. So nice to see those together. Alright, let's just clear that and have a look at our arrival then into Lyon. So at the moment, according to the operational flight plan, we should be landing on 17 right, but we've just seen the forecast. There's a chance that could change. So the RNAV 17 right. There we go. That is going to be from an AMVAR transition, so that's the AMVAR 5 Sierra. And is that by Arbon? Let me just double check that on the charts. So I think the initial approach fix is, let's see, let's find that out. Is there Arup or Arbon? Oh, can't see any of those on the charts. So Arbon is for runway 36. Our BOP should be for runway 17. So let's just check this out. Which one is it? And if we're not sure, we can go the old-fashioned way. Use the plan, zoom that out, and we'll have a look in a minute. So if I choose, oh, it is Gommet. Ah, there it is. Found it. Should be Gommet. So we'll insert that. And 340 miles the flight plan, 348 miles in the operational flight plan, and then it's always worth checking to see what that looks like when it's coded in. Let's just pull that down to 10 miles, have a look at the navigation display and scroll through that. So that departure looks exactly as I would expect. The arrival, there it is. Although that does look like a bit of an obtuse angle to try and make. What would actually happen, just from reading the charts, I'll explain a little bit more about this in the flight, is we would get some radar vectors to help with that initial approach. But anyway, that is all looking good. Get the constraints turned on. Right, so happy with the coding. In the RadNav page, all I'm going to do for a bit of situational awareness is we can pop in the Tessera VOR, which is Tango Echo Sierra, and then we'll come to the init B page. So that flight plan again, we have got a zero fuel weight of 59.2. And what was the centre of gravity? Oh, zero centre of gravity. Was it? I've pressed the wrong one again. Try that. It was 32.2. You can cheat, of course, and just press it once. It'll bring those figures down there, and then you can just pop them back in again. Trip wind, headwind of 36. So there we go. Aircraft says we need 4.6 tons. We're taking 5.5. Is that now loaded in? Let's have a quick check. Yeah, we've got 5.5 tons loaded in there, so let's go 5.5. And fuel required to reach the alternate is around 1.5 tons. So let's just get that in there. 1.5 for the alternate. Flying time 44 minutes, which gives us an extra 90 minutes of fuel for this. Okay, so happy with that. Let's go to our performance page. In fact, just before I do, I'm just going to get the APU running. I think all the fuel has, refueling has completed, so we can get the fuel pumps turned on and APU now running. Right, so let's have a look at the information for our departure. Transition altitude here in Venice is 6,000 feet. Noise abatement to departure, and the airport elevation is 7. So yeah, 1,007 feet, rounded up to 1,010 for thrust reduction acceleration, engine out acceleration. That's all good. Flaps 1 for takeoff. It's going to be a toga takeoff with no performance calculations. 136, 132, and 131. Maxim, you cannot use SimBrief to get the zero fuel weight centre of gravity because SimBrief does not provide you with the zero fuel weight centre of gravity. It only provides you with the zero fuel weight, not the centre of gravity. So let's have a look then at these V speeds. There is a speed restriction on our departure. So if we just bring up the VFR map, and we can see here's our departure. Oh, look at that, we've got VATSIM traffic. You can now see VATSIM traffic on the VFR map, although I'm a little bit concerned with the way that aircraft's pointing. That looks like a very bad parking job. We're going to be departing runway 22 right, and then at the waypoint 466, until we pass waypoint 466, we've got a speed restriction of 220 knots. So we can fly clean. The slowest we can fly is 215 knots. We just need to pull the speed bug. What would be nice, let's just see if this works. Can we set a pre-selected managed speed of 220? And we'll see if that works. If not, we'll just have to pull the speed bug and do that manually. Okay, so that's all set. We've got 7 passengers remaining. I think we might be ready to start pushing back. Let's just do our departure brief then. So we are currently parked at stand 326, and our taxi then is going to take us, if we taxi and face, if we're at 326, we'll taxi and face south. From there we're going to taxi on to onto Kilo, and Kilo will take us, where does Kilo take us to? Right, Kilo takes us to holding point Kilo 1, which is for backtracking for departure. Now, how long is that runway? Could we depart on Toga? Do you know what? I think we could depart Toga with that intersection Kilo 1, rather than going all the way down. You can see Kilo 1 is just oh no, it's just there. You can see that. So there's kilo 1, but we've also got a bit of extra room there. So 2 to right, what's runway takeoff available is takeoff run available from 2 to right at the kilo intersection is 2,000 meters. Right, okay, do you know what I'm going to do? We've got 2,000 meters to take off with at Toga. Let's go with flaps 2. So I'm just going to change the performance. Let's just go back in here. Toga thrust, flaps 2. Now we need to check our takeoff data. So 131, 127 and 126. Okay, so we're going to do a flaps 2 config takeoff. Not often we do that, but there we are. And it just means that we don't have to backtrack. Or we shouldn't have to. Hopefully we won't run out of runway. Okay, let's get some doors closed. And we can close the cargo door, we can close the aft door, and I think the jetway can now also disappear as well. Okay, so that's all sorted. Right, so that was our taxi sorted to holding point kilo 1. After takeoff then, we've already mentioned we've got a speed restriction of 220 knots until we get to Papa Zulu 466, and thrust reduction is about 1,010 feet. Weather is great here. If we have a problem, we will be coming back in to land. It will be the other runway though, it'll be 22 left that we'd be landing on, much longer. We're below the maximum landing weight, so that's no issue. If we have a problem with an engine out on departure, instead of continuing with our departure, we shall be we'll be making a left-hand turn to come back. We will not make a right-hand turn, just because what we need to also be aware of is, if we just look at the map here, so minimum safe altitude around here is 2,400 feet. However, to the north we've got 7,200 feet, and also if we have an engine out on departure, it's safer of course to circle back round over the blue stuff rather than the green stuff, just in case we have a severe problem. And the minimum safe altitude is 1,800 feet over here anyway, so that's good. Let's there's the test VR that we've got in there. Right, our initial climb. What's the initial climb for this? Is it 5,000? Do we have one on the charts? If not, we'll just have to give one ourselves. Our initial climb can go up to flight level 120. So let's get that popped in. 120 blue. Right, so there's our departure briefing. Threats to be aware of. I've just mentioned minimum safe altitude to the north of the field, and information about the aircraft. We are doing an RNAV RMP approach today. However, final approach does not work, so we are going to have to use nav FPA for that final approach. All right. So there's our departure briefing. Just double check air traffic control. Yeah, no air traffic control online as of yet. Let's have a quick look around. I believe we've got a couple of aircraft around us. Let's go over to start checking and running our before start checklist. So the APU is now running. Let's get that bleed air on. External power. Disconnect that. He's still there. Is he still there? Yeah. Don't know where his cable's gone though. I suppose we have just disconnected it. Off he goes. Alright then, so before start checklist. Cockpit preparation. Oh, we've still got a door open. That's not normal. There we go. So, door is now closed. Are all the other doors closed? I believe so. There we are. So
Hi,
now the
Gavin.
cockpit.
All the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Oh, she's so kind.
Thank you.
Right, cockpit preparation is complete. Signs are on and auto. Check we've got 3 nav green. System is normal. There we go. Fuel quantity is 5.5 tons. Check we're loaded and balanced. F&GS is all set. Altimeter 101H. Just make sure that's still the same. 1017, slight change, so let's just update that. Right, self-loading cargo is telling me my doors aren't closed. I'm pretty certain they all are. Yeah. Doors are most certainly closed. Self-loading cargo fighting with the doors. That's not good, is it? Right, tell you what. Let's see what happens if we open and close those doors. Willie, I've not got the beacon light on yet. I've not even got ready for my pushback clearance just yet. Right, let's try closing these doors again. The refueling tab has now come back open. That's not normal. Self-loading cargo's not liking this. Let's get the jetway back over, because sometimes the jetway messes around with things. Let's have a look at that refueling page, shall we? Refueling has completed, so there, now it's gone. Right, so jetway has just opened that door again. Now let's tell it to go away. And will it close that door for us automatically as it retracts? Find out together. Apparently it has. It's not interacting with self-loading cargo. It's telling me the doors are closed. Oh, how annoying! Tell you what, let me try something else. This didn't happen last night. This the test we did last night all worked rather perfectly. Okay, so I've got the cabin door open, we've got the rear door open, and we've got the cargo door open. There we are. Can't take off if we've got a door open. Right, cargo door is closing. The catering rear door is also closing. And the cabin. Can we get that cabin door closed? Cabin door is closed. Come on, self-loading cargo. What's happening with you? Oh, it doesn't like me today. Do you know what? I might just exit self-loading cargo, start it again, and with a bit of luck that will work. Do you wish to restore the previous flight? Yes, I do. If you would be so kind, that would be lovely. Anyway, we've run our before start checklist to the line. We now just want self-loading cargo to behave itself. Oh, self-loading cargo might not even open now. Good lord. Oh, it's having a moment. Oh well, I'm not waiting around for them, guys. So, let's tune over to Unicom. 122 this way, and we'll announce our taxi then. Venice traffic easy, 34 Alpha Mike, parking stand 326, pushing back, facing south. Right, so now we're going to get the rotating beacon light on. And we want the jetway. Not the jetway, we want the tug So there's rotating beacon light. We'll get that running. Nose wheel steering is disconnected. Acupressure is in the green. Transponder set on. Thrust levers and before start checklist below the line. Windows and doors closed and armed. Ecam status checked. Rotating beacon is on. Mobile phone is off and parking brake is on. But we're about to begin that pushback in a moment. So we'll begin the push and then we shall we'll begin the push and we'll start the engines. So that's released. APU bleed is on. Engine mode selected to ignition and starting engine 1. So back we go. Lauren, so what does the line on the checklist indicate? It literally is a line on the checklist because there's two parts to the before start checklist. You've got the part above the line and then you've got the part below the line, and you literally are calling out above the line, below the line, etc. Oh, Willie, we ran a test flight yesterday with self-loading cargo. We didn't have any problems, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. That fuel truck is speeding along. He must be empty. So, as we can see, engine number 1 is just starting up. And we're going to push back and be lined up to taxi down here, so we're facing south. Engine number 1 stabilized, starting engine 2. So now with the add-on of this new plugin, I can actually control the pushback myself using the rudder. I do have a video about this coming up very shortly. In fact, it's already recorded. I just need to get it uploaded. And we can get ourselves now lined up with that taxiway, slow the tug down, and that will do. And push back. And parking brakes set. And engine 2 is stabilized as well. Let me just get the C of G. 35.6, that seems high. And 35.6. And we'll get that set. Okay, so ignition, APU, ground control, APU can come off, and spoilers, rudder, flaps 2 config, and 30, what did I say, 35, that seems incredibly high. We'll leave that there, I think. Alright, after start checklist. Anti-ice off. Ecam status checked and normal. Pitch trim is 35 and rudder trim set 0. We'll do a flight control check, then we'll announce our intentions onto Unicom. So, full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left. Willie, it's from flightsim.to, where all of my mods come from. Anyone that wants to know where my mods come from, they all come from flightsim.to. Okay, so all of that looks good. The pushback tug is now clear. We'll announce our taxi clearance. We are on Unicom, aren't we? Yeah. Venice traffic, Easy 34 Alpha Mike, taxiing now via Kilo to holding point Kilo 1 for runway 22 right. Okay, let's roll. Okay, let me just set max auto brakes. I'm not sure that's going to hold, to be honest with you. We may have to reset that again. But we'll find out, I guess, together. So, left turn here. The simulator does seem very smooth after the update. I think we say that after every update, don't we? Do you think it's a placebo effect, or do you think it actually is nice and smooth? Okay, so weather radar is on, predictive wind shear, transponder is set, auto brake, cabin crew, TO config, TO memo all done. We will put the terrain on for departure as well, just because there is a bit of terrain to the north of the field. Oh, this bus is going to get ingested. HD, that would be great. Right, okay, so HD, we are departing runway 22 right via the Kilo 1 intersection, if possible. And takeoff weight is... what's our takeoff weight? Is planned to be... in fact, what's our takeoff weight now? Go for 65. 65.
437, pushing back, stand 325, facing north.
So if HD can quickly run those, my plan HD was flaps 2 toga from this intersection, just to save the taxi back. But I'll hold here, and HD can give us some real world perf figures, so that would be good. Whilst he's doing that, then let's just brief our engine out procedure. So originally, HD, our engine out procedure was going to be a left-hand turn after departure, and we would hold over the TES VOR. The departure matches what we've got on the FMGC, and stop altitude is flight level 120, current QNH 1017, K165 tons HD, that's the one. Now let's see if we can get out there. At the moment we've got flaps 2, so I'm just waiting for those figures from HD. We'll get the real world figures for those. So as soon as I get those, I'm going to pop those into the perf page. See what we get. Thrust reduction acceleration is about 1,000 feet. 22 right HD. 22 right if possible. I'm just bringing up the charts now as well. Make sure we've got that correct. Yeah, so 22 right, kilo 1, if at all possible. So those of you wanting to get the pushback mod, then I believe it's called toolbar pushback. I think it is. I think it's called toolbar pushback. HD's 22 right, not a runway. Oh wow, the chart's right dated. Right, in that case, how about hotel? Can we depart hotel 22 right? I can do that. Hotel intersection, runway 22 right. So, flight plan, departure, runway 22 right. It's still going to be the same. Is it the Vic 5 Delta departure? There it is. Still the same. SID. Insert. Performance. Let's see. 22 right at hotel. So what we're going to do then, guys, in that case, I'm going to continue the taxi. Venice traffic, easy 34 Alpha Mike, continuing taxi from Kilo 1 via runway 22 right to hotel. Okay, so straight ahead here, that is Tango 7 and Fox. And our next turning is Hotel. HD, we're now going for 22 left. It's runway 22 left at intersection Hotel. Two left, intersection hotel, 65 tons. We're now taxiing via 22 right onto intersection hotel. And we'll hold here. Willie, I will double check that for you. Flight plan, there we go, 22 right. Initially we went 22 left, till HD informed me that that's now apparently a taxiway. Although, that does look a bit bad, doesn't it? Thank you, HD.
Traffic Skyway 437's taxiing for runway 22 left via Mike Kilo
66
04 left and hotel.
Flaps 1, and we've got 137. I've just got a config error because I've got flaps 2 selected. 137, and V2 is 139. There we go. We now need to go flaps 1. And 22 left via the Vic 5 Delta. And we'll confirm that takeoff data. There we go. 22 left. HD's V speeds and calculations. And we're sorted. Auto brake, max, turn that on. Whew. Anyway, let's get ready to go. So, before takeoff checklist. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is still the same, so we've still got that speed restriction of 220 knots until 466 waypoint. So departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1 now. FMA takeoff data 137 blue, 139 magenta, climb nav blue, 12,000 blue, 1FD2, and now a 66 departure for the transponder is set. ECAM memo takeoff no blue, EFB is stowed. Let's get everyone sat down. So lights, PAX 1, PAX 2, and TCAS, TARA, tilt above. So the cabin is secured for takeoff, and engine mode select to norm, TCAS, TARA, PAX off, anti-ice off. Let's line up. Venice traffic, easy 34 Alpha Mike, lining up runway 22 left. Oh, Maxim, have I done that again? Dear. Thank you for spotting that. I always do that. Auto brake max has just been released again, so we're going to have to reset that just before departing. There we go, so we're all lined up. Venice traffic easy 34 Alpha Mike departing runway 22 left, departure to the north. Okay, let's set takeoff thrust after 50% N1, and then we're going for a flex departure. 50% N1, man flex, SRS, and look at that, I've got speed selected of 220 knots. Let's see if it works, shall we? V1, rotate. Oh, good lord. We've overstressed the aircraft and caused critical damage. I don't believe it. How? Well, I've never had that on a departure before. Goodness me. Right, okay. Well, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it? What an absolute pain in the... What's it? Do you know what? I think that's worse than a sim crash. That is ridiculous. Clearly the aircraft preferred the other runway. Oh, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. Right. That's a good idea, HD. They need an ignore button. How have we done that? No tail strike, no nothing. Right. Well, do you know what? What time are we on? Oh, I'm going to be pushing for time to get this out now. If I restart this. I'm going to have to rush this through, guys, if we want to get out. Because I am really going to be struggling for time this afternoon. Is the fly pad on? Yeah. Let me get 5.5 tons of fuel on board. We'll set that to instant. Right, so that's done. Okay. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. You can turn that off. You can turn off crash settings, can't you, in the sim, obviously. Set that to automatic. I might go into the settings and turn that off, because that's an absolute pain after you've just spent 40 minutes on the ground setting everything up. Okay guys, I need you to be my eyes here for anything that I may have missed during this setup, because I am going to just completely rush through this. So overhead panel refueling's completed. Let's get that on. Let's get the seatbelt signs on. Everything is there as that should be. We're going to get the APU started as well. We've got standby and everything's there. Come down to here. That's off. That's turned on. Flight deck doors, get those locked. We're on the Unicom frequency. Let's come up. We've got 1, 2 ECAMs. They're all off. Alright, let's come down to McDo. Pull that information in again. This is going to have to be the fastest setup I've ever done. And then I am going to quickly nip into the settings, and then we're going to clear them out and make sure we don't get that to happen again. Performance, weight and balance, ignore that. Let's just say yep, that's fine. What I do need to do is just move that to 30. Oh come on. Alright, 29.5 it is. 29.5. Done. And pull that in.
Venice traffic, Sky 437 departing runway 22 left on the Vic 9 Echo departure. Venice.
HD, you told me once it took you 3 minutes to 5 minutes to set the box up. Get that stopwatch running. Right, flight plan. So departure 2 left on the Vic 5 Delta, isn't it? Vic 5 Delta. And insert. Arrival is VOR 17. No, it's not VOR. It's RNP 17. Right, I think that was RNAV 7. Right. And that's via the AMVAR 5 November. No, it's not. It's the... Is it the Sierra? Yeah, Sierra. 5 Sierra. Gourmet. And insert. Tez. And I'm just going to pull those in, do those automatically. What was that trip wind? Was it 32? Something like that? Can't remember now. I think it's definitely a headwind of 36. We've got 5.5 tons. Takeoff weight 55.5. There we go. 1.5 for the alternate, and takeoff weight should be higher than that. Just go back to the data page, the VATSIM page rather. I know what I haven't done. Performance, weight and balance. Let's get that loaded in there. That's better. That's what I wanted to see. Right, performance hasn't changed. 6,000 feet. Flaps 1. Flex was 66. What were those V speeds again? HD? I can't remember. And I'm just trying this because there is a speed restriction which is after green dot speed, so we'll see if it targets 220 knots. Okay, that is a fast setup of the box, so apologies I'm not reading the chat while I get that all sorted. Right, what have I got? I've got 3 minutes till those are 3 minutes till those are all aligned. 137, 137, 139. Thank you. 137, 137, 139. There we go. Right. What I am going to do, I'm going to go to... Is it under general or is it under assistance? I can't remember. Oh, there we go. Aircraft sisters, failures and damage. Right, crash damaged. Disable those. Disable that one. Engine stress and icing effects. Oh yeah, okay, we'll leave those on. Apply and save. Go back. Resume. Okay. So, now just waiting for the IR alignment to begin. I can't even begin the pushback until that's all started. I can get the pushback tug, however, to come across. Anyway, before start checklist. Cockpit prep is done very, very quickly, and signs on auto.
58 Charlie, lining up runway 22 left via hotel.
Ideas are still aligning. Fuel quantity 5.5 tons. Loaded, balanced. FMGS is coded altimeter 1017. Just waiting for the hour alignment. Let's get those rotating beacon lights on. Okay, 1 minute to go. Let's make the call again on VATSIM. Venice, traffic easy 34 Alpha Mike, parking sign 326, pushing back facing south.
Good, first take 2.
Let's hope we don't have a take 3. Right, so once that kicks into gear, there we go. So, flight level 120, pop that in nav as well. That all looks good. Get the constraints on. And before start checklist below the line, windows, doors closed and armed, rotating beacon light is on. Parking brake. We shall release.
Traffic Danish 58 Charlie, take off runway 22 left on a VIC 5 departure.
Maybe a slightly faster pushback for this departure. And engine mode selector, norm starting engine 1. Maybe slightly unrealistic, this push here, guys, but he's just pushing us back rather quickly. See if I can make up some time. Is this how they do it in Malaga HD? Right. parking brakes set, and pushback tug is getting out the way. Good on him. Starting engine 2. Daniel, the sim didn't crash, the aircraft did on departure. Apparently we overstressed it somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, to be honest with you. Right, so I'm just keeping up with the chat a little bit, and see there's some rubbish going on there. So ignore the spammers, guys. I know HD will help me out with that. And Willie as well. Sensible head on your shoulders, Willie. You can help me out, I'm sure, as well. Oh, there's the relays clicking in. Eight knots. Wow. Sim, I've just turned all the crash settings off. Sim travel. Yeah, because that was annoying. Okay, right. Engine mode select. Ignition. Anti-ice is off. I'm just going to put the taxi light on now. And let's get the transponder on. We missed that. Oh, flaps 1, please. There we go. What's the CG 31.3? That's a little bit more realistic as well, isn't it? There we go. 31.3. Okay, have to start checklist. Anti-ice is off. ECAM status is checked. Everything's normal. Pitch trim 31.3. Rudder trim 0. Flight controls. I would normally do these much quicker, much slower, but I'm having to speed that up. There we go. Flight controls are all checked, and he's gone, hasn't he? So, Venice traffic, Easy34 Alpha Mike, taxi now via Kilo 1, cross runway 22 right, and line up runway 22 left via intersection hotel. Off we go again. George, we were going to go flaps 2, but we did get performance change, so it was flaps 1, and flaps 2 is fine for departure. You can depart with flaps 3 if required. Okay, left on to Kilo. Good evening, Dougal. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. I'm not sure we've been to Malaga in the Sim HD. Perhaps we'll have to go there and replicate an extra speedy push. Right, so we've done the flight control check, weather radar is on, auto brake is on. Departure briefing then, exactly the same as before. So, QNH no change, 1017. Engine out procedure, no idea. Turn left over the sea rather than north towards the hills. Hold at the test VOR until we know what's going on. We'll get the train on. Departure matches what they got in the FMGC, and then just check that actually. Yep, that's fine. Match what we got in the FMGC. Stop altitude is flight level 1, 2, 0. Before takeoff checklist. Flight controls checked. Departure briefing confirmed. Flaps setting config 1. FMA takeoff data 137 blue, 139 magenta, climb nav blue, 12,000 blue, 1FD 2, and flex of 66. Transponder is set. Ecam memo. Slight bug there, but it will be takeoff no blue. At the moment we've still got auto brake max showing. Electronic flight bag is stowed. Let's get lined up. HD, I may need a different performance calculation because I've just taxied wrong. Let me hold that here. Should we just go toga? It's all going wrong today. Where have I just lined up? I've not lined up at a hotel, that's for sure. Where are we now? We are... Oh, my Navigraph charts have just crashed. Fantastic. Oh, do. Seriously, Navigraph, not the time to crash on me. I could backtrack, I suppose. I don't particularly want to do that. Right, so we are now, instead, we're at Golf. We're at intersection Golf, I think. I'm not even sure. We might even be at Foxtrot. We could be at Foxtrot. That's got to be a toga takeoff, isn't it? Anyway, whilst waiting for HD just to come through with those, let's get the strobes on, we'll get the lights on. And TARA tilt above. Before takeoff checklist. Cabin is secured. And we need to go auto brake max again. There we go. Now we've got takeoff memo no blue. Let's get the packs off and toga. Thank you. Can I delete that? I don't think you can. Oh, actually, can you? Oh yeah, no, we can't delete that, so we'll just go toga. That's fine. All right. Just go and wing it. I think that's what we're doing until we get airborne, isn't it? Venice traffic, easy 34 Alpha Mike, departing runway 22 left to the north. Hopefully without overstressing the aircraft this time. Okay. Takeoff, start the chrono, 50% N1. And takeoff thrust. Mantoga SRS. Speed selected 220 knots. (100 knots). V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Nav gear up. Climb thrust. So thrust climb. Climb. Let's see what happens. See if its target's 220 knots. or whether I'll have to pull. In fact, the speed bug's looking good. Okay, so we're now past S speed. Flaps 0, ground spoilers disarmed, autopilot 1 engaged. Let's get the other pack back on. Ah, such a shame it's not targeting 220 knots. Now it is, now I've pulled it, the nose is pitching up. Ah, I thought it was actually going to do it this time. We got the FMA warning and everything. Never mind. We also need to go standard pressure. And 7,000 feet, we'll release the cabin crew. So we just overshot then slightly HD. We should have left it, the aircraft would have pitched up. I think, what was green dot? I think green dot was something like 215 or 216, speed restraint being 220. So we should probably put green dot in then. 10,000 feet. Let's get those lights off. Ah, strobes again. What is the point of that auto part? Right, anyway, we're now past the speed restriction, so we can go back to managed speed. No ATC, let's continue our climb, flight level 200, 200 blue, 290, optimum is 390, fair enough, but we're good to continue our climb to flight level 290 then. And just clear the RadNav page. Oh, there we go. And I'm just going to turn up the weather radar for fun now because it works. Oh, HD, that sounds like a call to the headmaster's office. Sammy Schnapp, thank you very much, sir, for your $2 super chat there. Sammy asks, what would you say is the best flight sim for a laptop? I guess that all depends on the specs of the laptop. I don't know if there's those in the group can help you out. Does anyone play Microsoft Flight Simulator on a laptop? I think my dad does, actually. But I'm afraid I don't know what his specs are, Sammy. So Maxim, with regards to the blue triangle, that was because after you pass the thrust reduction acceleration speed. No, let me start again. After you pass the acceleration speed, which in this case just happened to be at the same altitude as thrust reduction, so it was, what was it? It was 1,010 feet, I think, here, thrust reduction acceleration. After you pass the acceleration altitude, the aircraft will target 250 knots, below 10,000 feet. So you'll see a magenta 250 knots. However, we had a speed constraint, so I told the aircraft that I needed it no faster than 220 knots, but because I had selected that, then the aircraft puts it in blue. So blue, if you think of blue as being pre-selected or armed, as you like, and then magenta is managed. So, as HC's just said, the fact that pre-selected function is now working is a good thing. I just need to remember not to put the maximum in and put the nearest performance, optimum performance in. So what I should have done, a green dot I think was 215 or 216. That's the speed that I should have popped in there. Instead of putting the maximum of 220 in, I should have put in the green dot speed. Had green dot speed been above 220 knots, then the best thing to do would have been to fly at flaps 1 config and put in the S speed. Characteristic speed, that was the phrase I was trying to think of, HT. Thank you for that. Thank you, Vindu, for liking the stream on Facebook, and to the recent subscribers as well. Los Santos GTA 5, a little bit different, and Ahan as well. HD, does that mean I avoid the doghouse this afternoon in the debrief? I had a moment of madness. This is why it's not good to be rushed, is it? I don't want to leave the boys stood outside at the school gate. Not when I think it's raining outside as well. Fly level 250. We have got TCAS turned on and working, haven't we? Yeah, all good. Next week's lesson will is ludicrous speed. Oh well, that's the taxi speed of the tug in Madrid. Or was it Malaga? Sorry, Malaga. I thought we'd just established that. It's looking a bit bumpy. Willie G, thank you for subscribing, and Emil as well. Great to have you on board. Promise HD, next time we have a departure with a speed constraint, it will be executed, presuming of course we've not just overstressed the aircraft on departure. Right, so the toolbar mod, let's just quickly go back to that. This one here is a plugin available to download on flightsim.to. I do have a video about it coming up very, very soon. You can tell self-loading cargo isn't active because, my word, they'd all be screaming right now, wouldn't they, if that was the case. So guys, if you could do me a favour, if you haven't done already, please do consider hitting that like button. It is free, of course, but it makes a massive difference to the channel. Speed and Alt Star now showing. Do you know what? I think we're going to try and climb ahead of this, climb above this turbulence. We're at flight level 290. That seems pretty low to me. So that's Alt Cruise. Do I have to type this back in again? Whoa, good lord. I'm gonna be sick. I can't even click on the button, I'm bouncing around too much. No, it doesn't want to seem to load it in. Oh, there it goes. Took about fourth time. HD, you're going to find a really juicy place we can go to from Lyon. What's your definition of juicy? So I'm just checking file 290, 290, 290, 290. Okay. Right. Fair enough. Well, I'm not happy at file level 290. Let's see if we can get out of this. Let's go 350. Okay. Thrust climb 350 blue, and we've got the new cruise altitude 350 is set. Speak to you soon, Willie. Thanks for dropping by. Niru on Facebook, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're well. So instantly HD, people will be thinking of Innsbruck. They'll be thinking of Funchal. What are the other three Category C airports? Is it Mykonos? Is that one of them? I can't remember the other two now that are on the Easyjet routing. All Diver 42, thank you very much. Air Trooper 37, you can't get on with the dev version. Every time you fly and go to climb, it loses power. That sounds like a problem we may be able to solve if you're part of our Discord. Get on our Discord and all of us will be able to help you on there. HD, which Greek island is it? I can't remember the name of it. It is one of the Greek islands, isn't it? HD, I don't think I've seen the most recent one. I shall have to have a look once I've got this flight over. And is there 6 now? Ah, okay. Do you know what? I think my phone battery's dead as well, so I can't even jump into the Discord on there. Willie G, how long till we arrive? Should be less than an hour. HD, which update is it? Have you done another one since February? Was that the last one? Still getting a little bit of chop here, aren't we, at 330. Oh, of course, there's Gibraltar as well, isn't there? Forgot about that one. Innsbruck, but oh, I'm trying to think of them. So what have we got? The Cat C ones. Innsbruck, Gibraltar, Madeira, Funchal. Trying to think of the others. I thought there was 5. Is there now 6? I'm sure Mykonos was one of them, isn't it? What am I thinking of? And we're coming up on flight level 350. That's Bob. Thank you very much for subscribing here on YouTube. Very kind of you. HD, we may be able to do something like that. Not with an email list, but we can certainly ping the members. So that's fine. And there we go. Mac Alt Cruise. Oh, what's the one which I had no idea what it was, HD, and I had to Google Maps it. Tivat, however you pronounce it. Tivat. Where is that? Is that Israel or somewhere? Which couple of airports is down there? They look very closely related, don't they? I have no idea where they are. Lippel and Lippo. So what I was hoping to see was a little bit of traffic, because VATSIM traffic is now populated, but I think only within, is it a 20 or 30 mile radius? The VFR map shows traffic, just so otherwise you end up with it scattered all over, and that'd be no good for processing power, would it? Montenegro, okay. And people you know refuse to go to Tibet. Well, fair play to them. So what's really nice now is if you look at the navigation display, we can obviously see we've got clouds ahead of us, etc. But what we don't have is lots of red, green and yellow on the navigation display. So that's good. Okay, sim travel, you can't use max auto brake on landing, that's only available for departure. So I'd use a low auto brake. It all depends on the conditions, and of course in the real world you'd have a performance calculator here on the flypad which you can mess around with, so that would tell you. But until then, at the moment, if the runway is a short runway, then you can so say let's say Gibraltar, what's that, about 1700 meters, so you'd be auto brake max for that. If it's 2000 meters you might look at low, particularly if it was wet and raining. Otherwise it's not required. Anshu, have they fixed the approach flyback bug? I guess we'll find out together. Trooper 37, you can only turn on both autopilots 1 and 2 when the approach mode is armed. Star Warrior, thank you very much for subscribing on YouTube, and Andrew Giriu as well. Thank you very much. HD, did I say max? That'd be wrong, wouldn't it? I even began my little spiel there by saying you can't select max in the air. Right, so I'm just going to start having a look at how we're going to do our approach. So one of the things that I need to double check now is, because we did a very quick setup again for our departure, let's just check this looks as I want it to. So LTP, that is where our sort of arrival begins. The Tour de Pin, or if you're from Yorkshire, the Tour du Pin, begins here, and from there the initial approach we fly heading around 346 degrees, and we want to be at flight level. In fact, this is a great place to use the takeoff to use the distance bearing 2 page. So we're going to fly over this waypoint here at LTP. We then want to be at flight level 100, 6.2 miles away from LTP, at a bearing of 346. So if I now go to the progress page, I can type in LTP and a bearing of 346 and 6.2 nautical miles away. Oh, HD, I've messed the format up. What have I missed there? Oh, I've not put the slashes in. So it's LTP 346 and 6.2. 115.5. That's the one. So we want to be flight level 100 by this point. Paul Langdown, it will do that, yes, after the latest sim update. You need to download the latest dev version on from FlyByWire for the aircraft. They have fixed it. Daniel Goddard, just because I can now read what you've said doesn't mean I can pronounce it any better. Marcus, thank you for subscribing, and Mengley as well. Really do appreciate that. So when are we going to start this descent? Let's have a little look. We are, what are we at? We're going to need to lose 25,000 feet, so about 70, look at that headwind, about 85 miles away. So if we just bring the VFR map up,
traffic, that X33 is taxiing to the holding point with Bravo runway.
So from here, 6.2 miles north of here, we want to be at 10,000 feet, then we can continue our descent. This little line here, we're probably not going to do that, because we would get air traffic control vectors to bring us around in a nice gentle arc to Orbob. And then what we would normally get at this point at Orbob, we want to be at 3,000 feet. In fact, I'm planning all this. What's the latest winds? Because we did brief, there was a forecast the winds could be changing. Oh, it's still 180 at 3. That's okay then. Yeah, so at the moment we're still planning for runway 17 right. And that is the AMVAR 5 November. HD, I'm now concerned as to what you're apologising for. AMVAR 5 Sierra is our star. So the AMVAR 5 Sierra, and as just stated at our bob, we want to be at 3,000 feet. And then let's check the coding matches what I've got. Oh, HD, is that wind swung round? I knew it was going to do that. It's not updated here in the sim. The TAF said it was going to do that. Right, well, this may be slightly behind, so in that case, let's change our approach. Let's go for a different approach. It'll be runway, is it runway 35? Once again my chart's refusing to work. There we go. So we're going to be looking at... Oh, hang on, I'm just also checking if we've got air traffic control online. I'm not so sure they are online. Anyway, so this approach, let's have a look. We're now going to be looking at 3-5 left. I have no local knowledge of which they prefer to use in Lyon, whether it's 3-5 left or 3-5 right. So if we opted for 3-5 left, we could do that.
FedEx 30. Being runway 35 left on the EDIC 6 departure.
And that means which star are we now going to be using for 3-5 left? So the approach to 3-5 left is going to be the AMVAR 5 November. So let's change that. Flight plan, arrival, ILS 3-5 left. It's a much longer runway anyway, isn't it? AMVAR 5 November. And the AMVAR 5 November chart, let me have a look at that. That still brings us in via Gomet. There we go. Right, let me just clear the airports off the EFIS and check what we've got here. Right, just watch what the aircraft's doing now. It's turning us back round to the last waypoint because I've just changed the approach. I thought this is one of the things they were meant to have fixed. Never mind. HD, they do say 3-5 right preferred to land. That's weird. Because it is the shorter of the two, isn't it? By quite a considerable margin. Oh, alright. Let's do it by the book. ILS 3-5 right. Still the AMVAR 5 November. via Gourmet. Insert. Okay, so the final approach chart 435 right. To have a look at this top of descent. 35 right is going to be. Let's check. So that brings us in at InGov. Have we got InGov on here? The initial fix? Was that one of the options on the Vias? Three, 5 right. The 5 November. And... oh no. Well, that's interesting. Well, I think what we actually have looks right. Anyway, I just need to be careful because I'm still in heading mode at the minute. So, Gourmet to me looks to be... oh, hang on. Maybe it is there. It's just zoomed out too far. I couldn't see. Right, so can I go back now to Gigas and go direct? And hopefully the aircraft will behave. Nav. Gigas, we've still got the dashed line, so just pull the heading, push that back, put it into nav, got a solid line. Okay, let's check the plan. Oops, zoomed out too far. Scroll through there, so Amvar, oh there we go, InGov, that's the one. Yeah, it was Gourmet, I just couldn't see InGov on the navigation display because we were zoomed out a bit too far. So we want to be 3,000 feet then at InGov as our platform altitude as well. That's fine. And Radnav page, what's the Q, what's the ILS? 111.5, that's updated itself, that's good. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. Platform altitude is 3,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude, wow, there's a lot of those. So as we're coming in, we can look at minimum safe altitude as being 6,000 feet. And visibility is good, so Cat 1, runway visual range 550 meters. The decision altitude is 1,021 feet. My word, how high is Lyon? 821 feet, that would be why. Elevation 821. QNH 1018. Oh, there you go, the winds have updated. 1018. And missed approach is climb straight ahead to 5,000 feet and expect radar vectors. Good afternoon, Dark. Hope you're well. Alster and Captain 79, good to see you as well. Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat just whilst we've been changing the runway. So, INGUV. There we go. So we're going to begin our descent. We've got a nice headwind to help slow us down as well. We're currently at flight level 350, so about 100 miles away we can start that descent. In fact, looking at that, we could probably look to begin that now. So let's go all the way down to 10,000 feet to begin with. So select 10,000. Thrust idle, open descent, flight level 100, and of course in the real world my PM could have been grabbing the latest weather and putting it into the perf page. But I have to do everything. He's very lazy. Weather request. Send that off. Oh, Maxim, I'm now hungry. One of the other things I want to be aware of as well, whilst we're descending like this, is we need to just be aware of some of the minimum off-route altitudes. So just until we get to Gigas, which is 40 miles away, we don't really want to be any lower than around 17,000 feet. You can obviously see below us we've got the Alps. So keep an eye on that. Advocate, can you change the destination airport in the Big Dual airport? Yes, you can. Yes. I have tried it. Right, let's get this sorted. HD, which fix page? If you could just give me a click-by-click description of what you'd like me to try, can do. Right, QNH, what was that? 1018. And temperature +20. That's warmer than it is here in the UK. Winds, winds are still showing as variable. Right, in that case, 350 at 3. Transition altitude was 5,000. And Barrow is 1021. Right, well, we're checking HD flight pan, top left L1. Have I missed a step there? I can add waypoints. Well, actually, no, I can't. Not in the middle of a star. I still can't mess around with deleting star waypoints or adding them. So let's just concentrate on the rate of descent as well. Oh, I see. Yeah, so flight plan, left side key, R1. I can add speed constraints and I can add altitude constraints. Just watching that, I don't want to descend too low. I've got mountains below me. Sorry HD, I don't think I'm following you quite. So, you want to be on the flight plan page? And then the top right side key. So we're on our way down, flight level 220, just keeping an eye on the safe altitudes. Got the weather and landing information. FMGC is set. Landing elevation 821. Oh right, so it's right. So I'm pressing something that's not there. Got you. Fair enough. Let's get the icing on. Chris, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Yeah, it did. Because I'm obviously not familiar with. Sorry, just 1 second. Just going to hold that descent at 170 for the time being. Otherwise, I'm about to descend into the clouds, and I've got mountains beneath me. Yeah, I don't use default ATC, so any help was definitely greatly appreciated for that. So once we pass Gigas, we can descend through 16,000 feet. Slow that rate of descent down a little bit, and I'm going to put the seatbelt signs on. So minimum safe is at Gigas. Is it 16? In fact, we've got them on the flight plan, haven't we? Or we should have. Oh, stay still. So Gigas minimum safe altitude is 9,300 feet, really? HD, that in front of you is why you don't descend below the moors on the flight plan. Exactly. The good news is we spotted it. So at Gigas it's 157. And then Amvar is 115, the waypoint after it. Great view for the passengers, though, as you can see. And as you would probably expect, that little bit of turbulence coming over the Alps as well. Right, so down now to Amvar. We can go to 120. In fact, you know what? Let's just set that down to 13. Thrust idle, open descent. Down we go. Chris, no, for some reason self-loading cargo wasn't playing ball with me today, so I had to get rid. So this is where it could potentially become dangerous. You've obviously got the Alps beneath us. We're about to enter a blanket layer of cloud. Got the terrain radar on. As long as we stick above the moors, then we should be fine. Some great valleys though to take something like a Cessna through. Or if you're feeling brave, the Typhoon that's been recently released for the simulator. And this really does give you a sense of relying on the instruments with regards to the terrain that's around you. And we're looking good with the terrain radar anyway, so we're fine. We'll hold this for the next 10 miles or so. Then after Amvar, we can get down to about 10,000 feet. Steve, so BLW just stands for below, so the radar is tilt below, so it's looking for aircraft below you. And we're definitely in IMC. We're just starting to break through that cloud layer now, which is nice. I like to see what I'm going to fly the aircraft into. Stunning scenery. Okay, so we can continue descent now down to 10,000 feet. Thrust idle open descent, 100 blue. And I'm just going to slow that rate of descent down. We've not been doing great with a nice continuous descent approach here, have we? Ah, 090 blue. And that's a much nicer sight. Once we get above here, we can start to increase that rate of descent a little bit more. How far are we away from the start of the approach? Oh, that's not too bad. We're just going to have to get it down a little quicker once we've passed the Alps. Cyclotech, nothing really too new at the moment. That's right, so let's go open descent, and the aircraft taking us, taking us straight to Ingov now? Oh, to be fair, I'm not going to faff around with that too much. That's all right. Right, so now we need to get down to 3,000 feet. So select 3,000 and 1018 the QNH. How far are we away? Just short of 30 miles. Anti-ice can now come off. Emil Vector, there's a option in vPilot. You can just turn those on. You know what? It says in Gov, but I think we're still going direct to Gome, which is fine. HD, that's your confidence shining through. You've done it far more times than I have. How far are we away? 25 miles. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. We've got an extra 10 miles to play with, so fair dues. Nice ILS approach as well for this. Lyon traffic Easy 34 Alpha Mike over the Gourmet waypoint on the AMVAR 5 November arrival for runway 35 right at Lyon. Oh, HD, that's interesting. Is the aircraft still serviceable? If they're in op. Would you depart on an aircraft with in-op speed brakes? Serious question. "27 miles away. Oh wow, yeah, okay. Once again, HD was right. We've got plenty of time. Welsh controller, good afternoon. Okay, HD, challenge accepted. Next flight, speed brakes in up. Does that have to be on the next flight you're planning for us as well, which you've already made clear is not going to be straightforward? So I'm just slowing that rate of descent down now. Let's get the landing lights on. And you can see that terrain below as we've come down, but we're okay. We can still continue our descent. 500 feet per minute at the moment. Okay, let's check the approach phase. Is that activated? Yes, it is. Flying Legend, so the zoom factor, do you mean as in, such as this, it changes, depending on what I'm looking at. I literally move it around all the time.
2,500.
So, descent. Why have I put it in descent? That doesn't work. Open descent. There we are. And lock blue. This brings us in on a nice straight in approach, really, this, doesn't it? So we're 16.5 miles away. We'll hit 3,000 feet, level off, aircraft will slow down, and then we'll start configuring, by which point we should be more or less on the localizer. Alt star. Very quickly, Cobus, let me just check. I've got no icing showing, and we did have some clouds through that descent. Okay, slowing down to green dot. We should be intercepting that localizer in around 2.5 miles. Tell you what we didn't do. We didn't run the approach checklist, but we do have the minimum set. We briefed the approach. Engine mode selector was norm, and of course electronic flight bag is stowed. So any second now we should have lock star. Oh, it's just taking a slight shortcut. In fact, we can see that just there. So let's go flaps 1. There we go, lock star, it's now going to capture that. Lock star, approach, and autopilot. So glide slope blue, lock star, Cat3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. Glide slope is alive, localizer captured, flaps 2. Lyon traffic is E34 Alpha Mike, established runway 35 right at 8 miles. So 8 miles to run. Then once we've landed, we shall be vacating to the left. Glide slope captured, and missed approach altitude set. As we know, radar altimeter is alive. Let's start configuring at 6 miles. So, get the gear down, arm the spoilers, and flaps 3. And flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin secured for landing, auto thrust, speed, go around altitude 5000 set, ECA memo, landing, no blue. And we do have a replay as well, guys, at the end, so we'll check that out from a passenger's perspective. So stick around for that once we've landed. I think we've got a bit of time. Yeah, I'm getting in before 4 PM here in the UK. That's what I wanted. Looks like some great scenery down below, so I'm looking forward to the replay on this. Okay, so we're about 1,000 feet.
1,000.
There we go, 1,000 feet. Just check that light wind coming from the left. I think that's going to come around to be more of a headwind in a moment. Autopilot 1, 2 disengaged. I have control. Cat 3 goes to Cat 1. Auto brake not required. I've not landed here before, but I think this looks like some gorgeous scenery that we're over at the moment.
400.
That radio altimeter just giving us call-outs with the terrain below us. Don't worry too much about that at the moment, as that's about to drop off.
100 above. 200.
There it is, it comes back now.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Spoilers deployed. Reverse screen. Decel. 70 knots, reverses off. And we'll vacate here on, I think this is Victor 4 that we're on now. So guys, if you enjoyed the landing, stick around, we're going to watch a replay shortly. Let's just get vacated and then we'll clean up. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that there whilst we turn the lights off. Start the APU, get the radar off. Transponder, TCAS can come off as well. Let's get to our parking stand. Okay, so let's just check. We've got no departing or arriving traffic. HD, question for you. Because we're about to cross a runway, I presume it's maybe active for departures. Would you have left strobe lights on? Oh, HD, you've just answered the question I've just asked. I've just seen that. Oh well, good to know the thought was there. Right, let's get parked up and we'll watch the replay in a moment. I think even self-loading cargo passengers wouldn't have minded that landing. And they're a hard bunch to please. Right, let's get the aircraft onto a parking stand, and then I'm really looking forward to the scenic arrival here. What I would like to have seen with all this blue sky, although I don't know if there are any aircraft in the vicinity of myself here at Lyon on VATSIM, I would really have liked to have seen some contrails in the sky. That would have been pretty neat. But never mind. Darren, thank you for liking and following on Facebook, and Sequil as well. Sorry if I missed that. Okay, so we're just going to park the aircraft up in what looks like the most random parking spot of them all. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM, and then we shall have a look at the instant replay. So I just need to stop that and then disconnect from VATSIM. There we go. And let's now load the replay. I see LYS Aviator. That is where local knowledge comes in. Oh, what's happening there? Oh, that's new. Right, okay. So I've just loaded the replay, and normally you just get sort of spawned back in where you were. Right. Is this... I've not tried this since the update. This may be an update thing. Good lord, anything could happen now, couldn't it? Willie, welcome back. You're about to find out whether the flight control replay function still works here in the sim. Oh, okay, this could be interesting. Hang on then. Hit ready to fly. We'll probably get all sorts of alarms. Oh, good lord, ATC's talking to me. Alright, so actually, the replay is working. It just has loaded it up as a complete new flight. That's interesting, but okay. Alright. Right, let me just zoom down to our final approach. There we go. We might just have to wait a second for the scenery to load in. So I'll just give it a second for that scenery just to populate back in. There we go. That's looking mighty fine. I can hit play and hopefully that will work. Yeah, so I loaded the replay and it just loaded it as a brand new flight there, didn't it? Which is interesting. Normally it just, boof, sets you up and off you go again. But that's quite nice. LYS Aviator, I'm completely guessing here now by the use of your username LYS. You're not based in Lyon by any chance, are you? Or live in close proximity to the airport? If you are, and you've flown into Lyon regularly, landing runway 35, could you tell me how's the approach look? Realistic at all? So guys, if you do have to disappear, if you could please hit that like button on your way out for me, I would be most appreciative of that. It makes a huge difference to the channel. It really, really does. Willie, well, we've managed to rescue your replay, so you're good. I'm just not replaying the entire flight. Although, you missed it, Willie. Apparently, the next flight we're doing, HD's got something special for me, for which he's apologised for in advance, so God knows what that's going to be. Cripslol, my simulator settings, you can actually check those out. There is a video on my YouTube page which does show you them and goes through them in a bit of detail, so you can check those out. DT's Plane Spotting, thank you very much for the subscription, and Mike Bolton on Facebook, thank you kindly, sir, for all that. Oh, Lyon. I'm just going to call you Lyon Aviator, if that's okay. Lyon Aviator. That's good to know. I like to have local people to the airport that we're landing on the stream, just so they can that have flown into those airports on more than one occasion and can actually look at the ground, like here out of the left side passenger window, and say, yeah, I recognise it. It looks great. HD, the apology wasn't for the flight you've planned. Well, now I am worried. I haven't checked my phone since departing. Should I just go and throw it in the bin? Once again, a very scenic approach coming here into a, I don't want to call it a rural airport, but certainly not a major international hub. But I think the other one was Nantes, wasn't it? Coming in there.
Terrain.
That sounds great. Oh, that's the ground proximity warning, not because it's not configured for landing.
Terrain.
Shut up.
Too low. Terrain.
There we go. Frame rates seem a little poor now compared to the actual flight. I don't know if that's just a replay thing, but never mind. But I think you can tell those frame rates aren't as great as they were during the actual flight. But never mind, we still get a good idea of how it looked. And I will take landings like that all day long. Oh, wonderful. Right, I'm just going to rewind that just a few hundred feet, just to see the approach from the right-hand side. So let's just get that going again. I would imagine, though, much of the same, but we've obviously got nice hills in the background on this approach. So that looks, that does look great. On live time and live weather as well. So I don't know if Lyon Aviator, I don't know if you're currently still in Lyon. What's the weather like? Hopefully it looks something very much like this. What would be really nice, and I'm sure it'll be something that's implemented, given that Azobo have committed 10 years, I think they've said, to this simulator. What would be really nice is if the colours of the fields change throughout the year. You know, as they get planted, crops grow, and then you know, when they're ploughed. HD should do outside replays. I can do that. I can do that quite easily. Yeah. We're just missing smoke from the wheels though on touchdown. You do see them start to spin though, so that's quite neat. Oh, Willie, are seasons planned? Ah, fantastic. Look forward to that then. I don't expect it anytime soon. There's obviously much more important things, but it's just nice to know that they're coming, isn't it? It's good to know. Okay then, guys. Then I'm gonna have to finish their busy evening with children swimming, hopefully, otherwise they'll be drowning. Thanks very much for watching this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed the flight today across Europe. We had a bit of a false start, didn't we? But we got there in the end. Big thanks to those of you that have watched this afternoon. Hope we've provided some entertainment and learning for you. Big thanks as always to HD for his advice, and to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members, of course. Thank you for your continued support, as well as those that have donated and contributed to the stream throughout the flight this afternoon. I'm going to leave you with one final replay. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye bye for now.
1000. $500, $400, $300, $200, $200, $100, $50, $40, $30, $20, retard, 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 retard,